Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Well, so we have rolling blackouts, and the rolling blackouts extend as far west as Fuji City. And I guess, fortunately for me, we're uh, we're actually west of Fuji City, so we're not going to have any blackouts, at least not yet, according to TEPCO, which is the Tokyo energy group that supplies energy. Um, they're also the geniuses responsible for handling the Fukushima situation. So I tend to discount a lot of what they have to say. Uh, wow. Well, there's so much news to report, and so many different places reporting news. I don't really know how much more I can add. Let's see. I actually just talked to one of my neighbors who's in her 70s, and she told me that some of her friends have said that the many of the supermarkets here in Shizuoka City, and we're 400 kilometers from the nuclear incident, are getting low on things for sale, foods and drinks and whatnot. Which I guess, depending on how you think about preparing, is either surprising or not surprising. Gasoline prices are up. I've heard from someone who lives somewhat closer to Tokyo that the gasoline stations have long lines for gasoline. Although I believe as of Sunday, the oil refining conglomerate has opened the spigots, and they're actually making more trucks available to deliver the gasoline. So I guess that's a good thing. Um, I thought I'd mention a few things. There apparently Tokyo is having the rolling blackouts, and so it's very difficult to try to do business. This morning, I have an English class that I will have tomorrow, and I emailed the office, and I emailed them about 5 hours ago, and I haven't heard anything back. So I'm just assuming either no one's in the office or they don't have power or whatnot. I'll be going to the class anyway. But yeah. So trains are running at only 20% capacity. So I suppose if you want to get around town in Tokyo these days, you need a bicycle or a motorcycle or your feet. There was an explosion in a department store today. I think they were trying to open, and I guess they got a little bit ahead of themselves. Topics: the Tokyo Exchange was way down, and kind of interestingly enough, the Kospi, which is the Seoul Exchange, was slightly up. Um, I think that we're going to see a large generation and repatriation of yen to Japan, and it had been mentioned to me actually more than once that it might be a good short. I can't say whether it would be a good short or not, because right now it doesn't appear to be moving in that direction. And today the Bank of Japan announced an injection of 7 trillion yen in emergency funding. That's about $85 billion, and that's just today. Tomorrow, who knows how much more they're going to inject. Um, yeah. Mm, what else can I tell you? Things are just don't seem to be getting any better around here. Mm, Now the second containment building seems to have blown its top. Their reports are that they're trying to inject seawater into the system in an attempt to cool down the reactors. But what I read is they're using fire equipment, and that the geniuses who designed the plant put the pumping room below the reactor, which Might make sense from an engineering perspective, but certainly makes no sense at all from an emergency or preparedness perspective. So, whatever moron approved that system probably should be have his salary revoked and receive a Darwin Award, I suppose. And then these are the same geniuses who are telling us not to worry. I mean, granted, the wind is blowing predominantly to the west, which means that whatever trouble there is blowing out into the ocean. But I suppose that means don't eat fish. And on another note, on a pet note, so we have a couple of kitties here, and the middle kitty, Al Pacino, he's been going bonkers with regularity prior to an earthquake. And Frankie, that's a Frank Sinatra, he slept through the entire thing. So Frankie has now been kicked to the curb, and Al is now my best friend. So now whenever Al yells or makes noise or whatever, I'm paying very close attention to what he has to say. Although recently it's just been hug me or give me fish, but you never know. He was right last week on the 7.1, and he was right a few days ago with the big one. So he's now my best friend. Thank you, Al. And with that, see ya.